Okay, so I believe we are live and everything is working just fine. I am so excited to be here with everyone, and it's really nice to see everyone here today. It's been a week. Good evening to everyone. I see we have Tuna VU in the chat, Antley, Fedboy, King of course, Leafy Soul Green, Toaster. Welcome everyone. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if it's too loud. We're gonna try to keep the conversation focused, so I won't have any background music, but if you feel that having background music would be helpful, you can let me know as well. Audio is good? Okay, great. And so we have the kotatsu that's nice and green, and the chat is displaying like at least 2 messages per person on the kotatsu, the very cozy kotatsu. Yeah, so welcome Panda, it's really good to see you. I want to give a warm introduction to the 2 guests and hosts. I'm co-hosting here with Tofu, the Dark Elf, and Fish. Of course, you guys know Fish, the fish, the tuna. But yeah, so oh my gosh, Leafy, thank you so much for the 10. Super excited for that. Round of applause. Yeah, those tables are not cheap for sure. But yeah, so let's just do a quick audio check. Can you guys one at a time, maybe we can start with Tofu. Did you want to give like a brief introduction? Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Tofu. Been a long-time friend to Po. It's been how many years now? At least like 4, probably.
An entire college degree has happened.
An entire college degree has happened. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Am I sounding okay to everybody, or
is he too loud? Do I need to adjust?
Yeah, is that the panda?
That is the panda, yes. That is our panda. But yeah. Seems okay? Alright.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
That's a bit loud. Wait, I can turn down my mic gain, that's fine.
Okay. Alright. Welcome Scylla, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. Tofu is a little bit louder, yeah. I think it's his microphone. It's better quality than mine.
How's that? Is
this a little bit better?
Is that a bit better?
Okay. If not, I can also reduce it on my end. Let me see if I can reduce it ever so slightly. There we go. That should work. That should do it. Still a little loud. Okay, a little bit better. I've reduced it. So Tofu, do you want to do a quick audio test so that you're not blasting people? Whoa, come back. Come back, buddy. Speak. Oh dear, we've lost him. Wait, is that just me? Is it just me? Am I bugging?
Oh, okay. I think I turned it a little too low. I turned it way too low.
Yeah, I think
I turned it all the way down.
Get the defib.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, is that better?
Yes, you are. I think you sound a lot better.
Okay.
The defib.
Okay.
Yeah, we have successfully defibbed you. You are back alive.
I live. I'm alive.
Much better. Okay, great. So yeah, Dark Elf Tofu, good friend, also a scholar. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So Fish, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and test out your audio?
Blub blub blub. How is this? Is my audio alright? Is it too loud? Oh, My,
Oh.
what is happening?
Everybody, close your eyes.
Oh, what? Sorry. I was adjusting.
Oh.
I was adjusting.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
No, I was adjusting. All right, I reduced it. A bit loud? Okay.
A bit loud. Oh no.
All right, let me...
Look, it sounds to me like the fish and I aren't loud. Poe was just really quiet.
Oh.
This is true. All right. I think it's been adjusted. I think it's a lot better. You guys can let me know. But yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, Fish.
Hello, blub blub. It is almost. I am Fish. VU go by many names. Tuna, not to be eaten. I am the one fish that you don't eat. Please, please, please.
She says that.
It's
But her
saying
only
that.
her only desire is to be turned into sushi.
No. How about turning tofu? You know, like how about eating that? Huh?
Exactly.
What, turning tofu into tofu? Oh no, I'm gonna be turned into what I am.
Yeah, let's multiply yourself. Yeah. What else? I've known Poe for 2 years now.
Okay.
Associate's degree. Yeah, there you go.
I like how everyone starts off with introducing themselves as how long they've known me for.
Well,
It's
it's relevant, okay?
relevant. Yeah, that's
Sure.
relevant.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, not the stinky. Why is it always the stinky tofu, bro?
That's what I'm saying. It's not just me.
It's always the stinky tofu.
Yeah. Well, we are a tasty bunch, that's for sure.
All
We
right,
are a
tofu.
collection of protein. You know, you get to pick your
A
tofu,
fish.
or bird.
Rub-
Oh, I wasn't gonna bring up my
And let's be real, who wants to eat a dirty bird?
I wasn't gonna bring up the fact that I'm part of that protein profile, but here we are, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're on this table. You gotta contribute.
Yes. We are here as Table Talk, Food for Thought, a very cute theme that represents the three of us as being somewhat possibly food items.
Food oriented.
Food oriented. Yeah.
250 calories easy.
I wonder how many grams of protein you can get from eating one pigeon.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
No one looked that up. I'm not on the table for actual consumption.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So, should we get into it?
Absolutely. Go ahead. We can get started.
All right. So, I'm sure you guys can tell today it's going to be all about self-care. We all know it's important, and some of us are like really committed to it, you know, planning it all out, doing everything, whether it's like working out, having some sort of skincare routine, a healthy diet, grooming, having like a clean space. You can't really and mental things as well. You know, setting goals, priorities, staying positive, meditation, things like that. But you already know some of us only really think about carrying out these things, not really like implementing them into our lives. I mean, I for one definitely could have a better diet. I definitely have fast food like one too many times a week. Ho and Tuna can attest to this. As I was telling them earlier, I ordered a 40-piece McNugget last night, and I ate 38 of those pieces. And I was not feeling well a few hours later.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Tuna, what do you think?
Nuggy monster. There's a cookie.
Okay, relax.
Nuggy monster.
Okay. I was talking about you. What do you think you guys could do better, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. For me, I started my health, like exercise and healthy diet journey, like back in 2022. When one fateful day I got my checkup because I was feeling these like tightening in my chest. No, not the doki doki kind. The I think I'm experiencing a mini stroke kind, you know. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'm like maybe a third into my lifespan, the expected lifespan of a human being, you know? I mean, sorry, of a fish, you know? I was like, why am I already experiencing mini strokes? Doesn't sound right. So I got a health checkup and I realized I have very high cholesterol, not just like the HDL, the bad cholesterol, but also the good cholesterol, like the LDL, and just all around high cholesterol. And the doctor said if you continue, the fish doctor, sorry, said that if you continue if you continue your whatever lifestyle you're doing, you will be cease to exist in like 5 years time. And I go, wow, that's so
Oh,
short.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah. And then they start exercising and eating more healthy. The fish doctor, yes. And start eating healthy, and it really changed like my attitude as well. So it really, for me, I really learned that like what you put in your body really really affects you, like your mood, how I feel throughout the day, even just like waking up. For me, it really changed really affected my fishy anatomy. So I'm not sure about you guys.
So, I guess there's a lot of points to kind of touch upon. Right now, we're kind of on the dimension of physical self-care, right? Food intake, which is something we can explore now or later, depending on where the conversation goes. But with me, food has always been kind of an interesting subject. While I recognize that I have some, dare I use the word trauma around food, but I also feel like I have a awareness of what I need to improve on with my relationship with food. So I do generally eat pretty okay. It's just I need to eat more frequently and in smaller amounts, right? Like I kind of like with Tofu's example, he kind of like dove right into the chicken nuggets, right? Like 38 pieces was it?
Okay, relax.
Well, so for me, I'd probably order like 10 or 20, right? And then just eat as much as I could and then be somewhat satisfied. So I don't go overboard. And so I feel like in that case, some of my struggles with food and self-care has been eating enough and eating the right amounts of proteins and carbohydrates and something that's nutritious for me, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole physical layer of it. But let's let me go ahead and kind of like define what is self-care for everyone so that we're going by the same definition. So let's define self-care as the practice of taking care of your mental, physical, and emotional health. So for example, you can ask yourself, what are some ways we or you can honor your body, our mind, and our emotional well-being? Some examples that I've listed is for myself is managing stressors in our life can definitely help with that mental and emotional fatigue that we can often feel as burnout. Another example is setting boundaries emotionally about what is appropriate to us, right? What we will tolerate and what we will kind of when we decide to put our foot down, and how to go about that gracefully, as well as repairing social situations with others while advocating for our need for connection, which can enrich the emotional wellness part of our discussion regarding self-care, right? So if you get into like an argument with a friend, taking the steps to repair can help with your emotional wellness, all right? Feeling a sense of connection and maintaining that relationship. I think with self-care, we take for granted the time we spend for ourselves to organize our thoughts and clear our mind. So here's another example. We want something in life, right? But we don't know how to get there. And this can build up into like certain frustrations, and this can affect our mental health as well as our physical well-being, right? We end up feeling kind of like stuck mentally, but also kind of helpless physically of what to do. We begin to feel unsatisfied with where we're at, and we want to try to remedy how we take care of ourselves in navigating these challenges. So one way we can do that is create a little bit of space in our mind and throughout our day to be organized and clear. And kind of one subject that we could kind of lean towards in guiding this conversation is, so setting goals for ourselves, right? So setting goals is a technique, is a tool, is a skill that can be it's like a transferable skill. So you can apply this to when you want to eat something, right? You're going to set a goal for how much you eat. So in Tofu's case, maybe, not instead of like 40 or 30, maybe bring it back to like 20, 25, right? So we don't overconsume.
Okay, look. I thought I could do it. Okay, I felt like Icarus at the time. Alas, I flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, those nuggies were a little too hot for your stomach. A little harsh for the stomach. So let's bring it back to how self-care looks like in terms of setting goals, because I think there's a lot you can begin to talk about, and setting goals opens up this opportunity to evaluate what self-care could look like. Yeah.
Like improvements, let's say, like do you want to hit like a certain weight, or like in my case, I wanted to lower my cholesterol to the healthy range, right? That was one of my goals, and it's still a goal, FYI. So what are like some ways that we can go about like setting goals, or even finding a goal, making a goal? How do you make a goal for yourself,
exactly, right? Yeah. I think that bringing that awareness to the table is really important, because I think a lot of people think like, oh, well, self-care is this and that's not me, and then we can't self-identify with the term self-care, right? Because we think, oh, self-care is something beyond, it's not anything that I need to think about. But actually, actually the way we take care of ourselves, the relationship we have with ourselves, the way we even talk and think is and the way we manage all of that is a form of self-care. And that's kind of on like a deeper level, but just to hint at it in case that gets people thinking. But for now, let's bring it to the surface. Let's kind of keep to the physical level. And, setting a goal is very much physical as well as it is mental, right? There's certain there's certain components of setting a goal that starts with the mind, the ideation portion, and then the manifesting it and seeing the result in our life is also something people might not consider as self-care. Like setting a goal, how does that relate to my self-care? Well, depending on what your goal is, it could be to improve an aspect of your life for your physical, emotional, or mental well-being, which was the definition of self-care.
I just want to go back to the point about purposefully like thinking about setting goals, or like self-care in like a broader sense. Like I find that, because you know how you're saying like not thinking about it, thinking that maybe perhaps it just kind of happens on its own. Personally, I find that even just like writing down what you want to do, how you want to get there, really helps you kind of focus in. Even if you just like have a look at that note every now and then, it really gets you to think about it every time you see it. It really does help.
Yeah, journaling, putting things down on paper so it helps organize your thoughts. One of the things that I brought up in the past, and I always continue to advocate for it, is the activity of journaling or writing things down. Some people like to carry everything in their heads and in their minds, and that works for some people. I mean, I don't want to like diminish the value of a person's capability of doing that. But at the same time, if it ever gets too much, just know that simply writing something down, getting it from in your mind and onto like a piece of paper so that you can see the moving pieces really helps bring a sort of clarity or introspection that you might not see it like within your mind because it's in your mind filled with other thoughts. So just to isolate what it is that you're trying to achieve and being able to articulate that either verbally,
so to give you a much clearer image.
Exactly, yeah, because while it's in your head, it's also kind of like swimming around with other thoughts and other trains of thinking and other whatever else you're thinking of, and so it gets kind of lost. And so just to isolate it on a piece of paper, be able to articulate and communicate that and organize your thoughts can be very helpful. Yeah.
I mean, that's just for most of us. I know some of you guys out there are just like complete monsters that can just like do that, like just keep it in your head and still like attain those goals that you want and still like have that clear image. It's crazy.
Yeah, and if that's you, then by all means, just take what works for you. Just consider things that we're talking about. But for others who might struggle with like keeping everything in their head, feeling overwhelmed, it might help to just write things down and to set goals for yourself.
I mean, it's also quite easy to keep it in your head when you're only sort of focused on the one thing and not really having anything else like that you're focusing on. Like for me, my main focus right now, because I did have knee surgery in the last month or so, I'm really focused on trying to get my knee up to scratch to what it was before. I haven't gone to the gym since the initial injury. So really my main goal is to get myself back into the gym, back into working out, because I feel so much worse without being in that gym. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and so you recognize that, and then you can kind of like backtrack. So like you are right here, and then you're trying to get from point A to point B, and it might not be linear, right? It might be like there might be some hiccups here and there, but it's really important, like Leafy is saying, that you see your goals that you write down.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In terms of goals for each other, maybe in the chat, I invite everyone to feel welcome to kind of ponder, think about, reflect on what are your goals, for self-care. Maybe it could just be, learning about self-care. Like, what do I actually need? Like, what are my needs, right? That's one. They could be physical, like going to the gym, eating better. And what does that actually mean, eating better, right? There's so much information out there. I was actually tackling some of the information, or attempting to tackle some of that information, and boy oh boy was it quite a ride. And I'm hoping to share just like bits and pieces of what I picked up or what I can recall to kind of process it with everyone.
But also keep in mind, if you do want like some sort of larger goal, what? For me personally, like I said, my goal is to, eventually get back into the gym, but I do have to kind of break it up into smaller goals, obviously try and be able to walk properly first, and then go to the next step, and then go to the next step, and then celebrating each one of those goals is probably a lot easier.
Like milestones.
One big goal. Yeah, small milestone. This is definitely the way to go.
There was something that you guys mentioned that I thought was like pretty important as well in regards to like setting goals, or sometimes like it's like about what do I want, what do I want to improve, right? And sometimes it's like I know what I want, I just don't know how to do it, or do I have the time? Because so there's like time constraint, there's like a lack of awareness or access. Or there's like also like a psychological aspect to it, like, oh my gosh, what if people judge me? I'm going to the gym, it's my first time in the gym, everyone seems to know what they're doing, and I don't, so there's also that aspect. There's like these things that are factors that are also kind of like I would say like impending, I suppose, or kind of like making us from practicing self-care, like physical self-care, whether that's grooming or exercise or diet, especially like, am I eating correctly? Am I buying the right food? Is this really what I should be doing, right? So how do you guys go about like you know,
Well, I think a really good one
I,
is,
Mhm.
having some sort of support network, telling people what you want to do and asking for help.
Mm.
I'm sure like close friends and family are happy to give you advice, especially if they are in that same area as you. Like for me, I do have a lot of friends that do go to the gym, and I was going to the gym with, so
Mm.
they can obviously give me advice and help me along my path to get back into the gym. So things
So
sort of like that.
what I'm hearing is like support networks. Some people in the chat have mentioned kind of having an accountability buddy. You know, and then if you struggle with motivating yourself, maybe looking for resources that would motivate you. Maybe there's like an actor or a role model, because there is this theory of modeled learning that I'm learning actually from my training program. And modeled learning is this idea that you kind of learn from what others are doing, right? And then you can kind of get motivated and inspired by that. Yes, modeled learning. So like, for example, I demonstrate something to you, right? Like I demonstrate how to pour a teacup or pour tea into a teacup. And then I say, and I explain it to you, and I can give you all like the instructions, but then I let you try it, and then you kind of like, you remember what you saw me do, and then you kind of remember as many of the instructions as possible, and then you pour the tea into the teacup.
Right.
Yeah. Just and
Right,
it's
right.
not like you've ever had any experience doing that, but it's like you take from what you observed and then you actually apply it and then try to do it yourself. So that's also that's the same theory with like going to the gym. If you're surrounded by people who are motivated and also kind of care or consider self-care as a value in their life, then you're more likely to value self-care and taking care of your well-being as well, if that makes sense. Yeah.
No, I get that. Also, just another point for the gym. If you guys are ever, sort of going to the gym by yourself and like, kind of scared and not sure what to do, it's always like, it's pretty easy to ask anybody at the gym. Most people at the gym are pretty friendly, even though they don't look friendly. I understand that it can be like very, very like give you big anxiety, but 80% of the time, 90% of the time, they are more than happy to help you.
Yeah. And, if worse comes to worse, you can always ask like a staff member, right? Or like a personal fitness person. Like if you see someone like that, has like on the back of their shirt, like personal fitness trainer.
Like PT or something.
Yeah. I'm sure they're not going to charge you for like one question, right? To get kind of interested in like, so and then
it's how they it's how they sink their teeth into you.
Exactly.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it starts with that one question, but just thank them for their time, and be easygoing, and just come from a place of like learning and a little bit of humility, right? Because you can't have your ego when trying to learn something. It just kind of doesn't work that way. But the other component to that is with technology and resources so readily available. There's not really like an excuse anymore. It's just a matter of what motivates you and what do you value. Yeah. So if you value self-care, if you value physical fitness, if you value your health, like, with VU saying that she took into consideration her current condition and she wants to do something about it, she can integrate a lot of different aspects of wellness, which could be from diet to exercising, these two components, and then monitoring, what she's consuming and how that affects her body. Yeah.
True. Okay. And just for exercise as well, I'm sure everybody knows exercise is 100% good for you, unless there are some of you out there that have doubts, but Let's be real.
Well,
With exercise, though.
Mhm.
Oh no, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh boy, here we go. No, you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna like I was gonna ask a question, but it's gonna segue. But I want to let
No,
you finish your
go.
thought
No,
first.
go. It might have something to do with what I'm going to say. So.
Oh, well, I was gonna say like, okay, so now that we've kind of like established regarding like setting goals, right?
Mm,
How do you go about like evaluating setbacks, right? Because naturally, if anything, any endeavor that we start, or pursue, there's gonna be some sort of setback. Like, oh, why am I not seeing results? Why is it like, I'm really eating less, but why am I still gaining weight? Or like, okay, I use this product to get rid of my acne. I am breaking out even more. What's going on, right? So how do you guys deal with like setbacks as well?
With setbacks.
In regards to like the setting goals process, right?
Yes. I'll talk in terms of like my own goals. So with the gym and like, my knee and everything. If I feel like things aren't working out, maybe I'll take like maybe 1 or 2 days, just like take a break. It's always good to take a break. Even with gym, if you take like a 1 to 2 week break and then you go back in, for some reason, some people just feel way stronger than they were before they took that break. It is something that happens. I've seen it a lot at the gym. And it really, it's like their, what's the word for it? It's like they're focused. They're more focused on it after that break. Does that make sense?
I think what I'm hearing is that if you allow your body to heal for that 1 week to kind of catch up to what it's been doing during that training phase, you kind of get yourself back into this like momentum of, all right, okay, I took my break, I'm ready to go again. That's what
I think
hearing.
it's more momentum based as opposed to like having the body rest, because you have the body rest normally when you do work out. It's a normal thing. Yeah, I think it is really, like you said, it's more of the momentum. It's like a momentum reset. So you're like starting it again.
Yeah. Some people
that's-
like that. There's like this euphoric experience you get from like starting again, that starting point. So yeah, maybe if that works for you, that's also something that does work for people. So
momentum brings up an interesting thing though, because then it's about like finding that rhythm almost, or that like routine, right? There's like
a routine. Yeah.
So that routine of like there's like what's it called, hit high intensity workouts, and there's like rest, and then there's like gaining momentum as well, and maintaining like what's it called, being consistent, right?
Yeah.
What if you take too long of a break and then you're just like, oh, I feel nervous about going back to the gym again.
Yep.
So how do you guys like feel about that, like in terms of like balancing
That's
momentum
also like
and consistency?
And it's also like accountability, like having somebody there to help you keep yourself accountable. Your gym partner or like the group of friends, they're always gonna, they're always gonna yap, they're always gonna talk smack. They're not going to the gym even though they're still. They're gonna bully you back into going back.
Yeah. So to kind of like answer this idea of setback, and what do you do when you have like days where you don't feel like you've been consistent enough, right? That feeling of like, oh, I'm letting myself down, or like, oh, what's the point? I think mindset, having a positive mindset and kind of like giving yourself grace is really important. So okay, so you missed here's just a different example. Say people have to take a vitamin supplement, right? And they forgot for about 2 weeks. They're like, oh, like what's the point? Depending on how frequently you're supposed to take that medicine or supplement, right? Or if it's going back to the gym again, kind of see it as like a renewal, like an opportunity to try again. That mindset, that perspective, that attitude can really, I guess, dare I say, make or break the that quote unquote setback. But if you continue driving that negativity into like, oh, it's a setback, I've let myself down. If you continue believing in that narrative, it can really crush your motivation. And so with setback, one of the things that I think about is like I take a step back whenever I feel like I've I feel like I have a setback of some kind, like I didn't do my best, or like I'm missing if I'm missing some sort of routine, or I missed it, I just like, so I kind of combine what Tofu says and just kind of see it as like a reset. Just if I have to reset every 2 weeks or once a month or every other week, then so be it. It's a reset. I can try again. And having that positive mindset can really make a difference in whatever change that you're trying to make for the better. Yeah.
It's really all part of the process. If you have those like downtimes, like setbacks, and maybe like you're feeling lazy or something like that, and you don't go for a few days, it's all part of the process. It's more so just like reflecting on it, why it's happening, and then just kind of adjusting adjusting what you need to change so that it happens less.
Yeah. So, like, for example, Zenithor in the chat says, you should give yourself grace, but not use it as an excuse to spiral or continue not doing something, right? And so that's where having that positive mindset, kind of giving yourself that benefit of the doubt and say, hey, it's okay. And, I really liked what Tofu said about, he has that like 1 week reset, one that allows your body to catch up on like a physiological level. Two, it allows you to mentally give yourself space from what you're doing, right? And it kind of it takes the edge off of like, I have to do this perfectly. It kind of takes that away.
Right.
Yeah.
So Fish, you were actually the question that you asked actually was leading into what I was talking about. Sorry, it ended up working out anyway. So here we go. Wow, it's like we're like, the three of us are like in sync. It's like we're running a podcast together or something. That's crazy.
Oh my God,
We're on one brain cell. We have one communal.
Okay, it's at least 3.
3 communal brain cells used interchangeably. Got it. All right.
Correct.
Sure.
Yes. Only one of us holds 3 at a time. If one's talking, the other 2 are just dead.
The other 3.
The other 3. Okay, and just going back to exercising and things like that. Exercise, we all know, like I said before, is good for you, but not many of us do realize that it does help our mental well-being as well. Reaching a goal of like lifting a certain weight or like getting like personal PRs and things like that, releases endorphins, serotonin. You do get that high of like happiness, I should say, whenever you hit a new PR, and it does also distract you from negative thoughts, that negative thought patterns that people do tend to go through like a few times a month, because you're always focusing on, I gotta get to this next level, as opposed to thinking about, I gotta get this report done for work, I'm running behind schedule. Those kind of things. It really does help out with your thinking. How about you guys?
Mindset, right?
Yeah. Do you find that it gives you a more positive mindset, or?
I think a sense of accomplishment or progress, a signs of progress, always helps me feel encouraged, or like, I'm making steps forward, right? Progress is.
I'll speak on my own experience. When I was before my injury, I was doing weighted squats, and I don't know if you guys know what weighted squats are, but I love it. I love weighted squats. I'm biased. I like weighted. I like the squat. I think it's like a full body exercise, and add a little bit of weights to give you kind of that confidence boost. So when you do something, challenging, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I did it. But it was very much like a confidence boost for me to go to the gym and know what I wanted to do, and kind of set aside time and like you said, like distract myself, because I have to be in the present moment. When I'm doing weights, I have to be present. I can't be thinking about something, because otherwise, if I do that, something could happen in the present, like the weight is slipping and I don't catch it or something, so I have to be fully present with myself, with my body, and not overestimate myself. Like I would rather underestimate my ability to lift a weight than overestimate for fear of hazard or like danger, injury. Yeah. So so in a sense, I felt more aligned and more connected with my body and with myself. So in some sense, it was kind of like no thoughts, just squat, Papa squat.
Also, sorry if you guys noticed that I'm like looking off to the side a bit. That's just where my notes are like located. They're located on my second monitor. So like, if you see me looking off to the side, I'm just reading my notes. Okay.
Got it. So, Swole it, yeah.
Creating that space so that you can really focus on your task at hand, like emptying out all like any additional or like distracting thoughts. Because you've already like delegated, or you've already kind of like set aside that this time is for exercising. So that I'm not thinking about work, I'm not thinking about what I have to do after I exercise, I'm not thinking about. So would you say that's like also like a form of like meditation where you're like focusing on like your muscles? I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can feel
Oh, definitely.
100%. I love that. I love that analogy, because like you are sitting with the discomfort, right? Because when you're exercising, it's not like a walk in the park. It can be challenging sometimes. Yeah, it can be challenging sometimes. And to be able to sit with that discomfort, allow yourself to like work through that discomfort and like feel okay. I think that's
regulating your breathing.
Yeah, focusing back on the breathing. Sorry. Yeah, meditation. My neurons are activated. This was lighting up.
You're welcome.
You guys are right. Poe's been talking about meditation. She likes to bring it up at least once a week.
Okay, you guys should know something about me, and that I practice meditation very consistently for at least 4 to 5 years. I was very dedicated, and I was teaching meditation online through Zoom for about a year, and I absolutely loved connecting people and seeing something within them light up. Like, oh my goodness, I feel so much more at peace with myself. I feel more aligned. I just loved like being able to offer that to others who don't necessarily know how to access that space and time for themselves. So it brought me a lot of joy. And does that carry over to this space? Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It's been waiting for the day that Poe pulls me into a VC with everybody else and forces me to meditate.
Yes, this will happen. Mark my words.
She's mentioned it before.
Yes,
even though she won't remember it.
I don't remember it, but I this is
I know.
This seems like something I've said. This seems like something I have mentioned and probably would do. Yeah.
But yeah, do you guys have any other points to mention when it comes to exercising, or?
Well, so part of exercising is like, so I don't know about you guys, and maybe this can kind of segue into the next topic, but after a good exercise, after a good, sweat or a workout, you want to clean up. You want to clean up after yourself. You want to kind of...
I don't know. Maybe I want to feel dirty afterwards, roll in the grass or something.
Well, okay, but at some point, after you roll in that grass, at some point, eventually, you're going to want to take a shower. You're going to want to, bathe yourself, groom yourself, take care of yourself.
True. Yeah, always got to take a shower after you go to the gym.
Yeah.
Wash out that sweat, body odor. Ooey.
Yeah, clip those nails, scrub behind your ears, get that belly.
Yeah, don't forget to scrub behind your ears, guys. I don't know about the fish. Does the fish even have ears?
Fins.
Wait, do you even have ears? I can't know anyone here that has to scrub behind my ears.
I have gills, guys, come on. Gills.
Get it right.
Yeah, but I think if I remember correctly, I know in some like athletes they do like a cold shower, like an ice bath or something like that, or to cool off, or like a sauna. like the steam helps open up your pores or like relax the muscles. I'm not sure if the steam actually penetrates all the way into that muscular layer of
I
your
don't know.
body. And that's
I really do want to try going to a sauna that I've never been to one.
Oh, it's really nice.
Yeah. What's stopping you from like going to like saunas or like any like skincare or like these kind of like aesthetic kind of like clinics, you know?
Mostly
massage.
it's most. I do get massages.
Mm.
I do get massages. But with like skincare clinics and like saunas, I just don't know where they exist here. In the southern hemisphere of Australia. I just don't think they exist at all. I'm not gonna lie.
And it's like that lack of awareness. It's like, where do I do want to go? Where do I go to one? How do I go to one? Yeah. Actually, before like this podcast, I thought that like grooming for men is like I thought I would have to convince you guys to shower every day, guys.
Oh no, absolutely not. Oh, is this gonna go back to the thing where like they're like a lot of guys that don't like wash their legs? They just let the soap run down their legs in the shower.
Oh my gosh, do we need to talk about that? Do we need to have a talk about that? Loofahs, all right, loofahs, scrub that dead skin cells off. Do we need to have a talk about that?
So
do I talk about cleaning under your nails?
The thing about loofahs, the thing is that it can also, it's like a breeding place for bacteria as well. So what I use, so I did the it's like a Korean like exfoliating pad, and it's like a glove. It's like a glove that you slip over your hand, and I use it like regularly, like every other day or every day whenever I shower. It's like a layer of skin goes away.
It's definitely a much better idea to exfoliate. Not every day, but every couple of days.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is that like scrubs, and then like the what did you call it? Like
the Korean hand.
Korean hand.
No, it's a washcloth, but it has like it's a washcloth, but it's the material is meant for exfoliating. Yeah.
Okay. One thing I wanted to mention as well, with like a lot of guys not washing their legs. Technically, I'm not saying I do. Okay, I definitely wash my legs. Okay, well, don't say anything. I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Technically, like, our dead skin cells, like, our dead skin does go away after, I think it's 2 weeks, I believe, or something along those lines. Like, our old skin replaces itself, like, every 2 weeks or so. So, technically, it's not going to be there anymore, so maybe exfoliating is not yet to be seen. I feel like exfoliating probably is important, but also it could end up being not that important. Who knows? I feel like it
is subjective. I think it's still very. Does it have any like legitimate health benefits? Like, are you really gonna like cause some sort of cyst or skin problem that you need to go to a dermatologist for? I don't think there's any, from what I've heard, I don't think that, like, from what I know, I don't think there's any like research per se that says that lack of exfoliating causes you to have all these skin issues, eczema, or all that kind of stuff. I think the only one I can think of is acne.
Does exfoliating help acne a lot, or?
It can.
Of the sebum, the extra oil on your skin, whether that's back acne or chest acne, you get acne all over the place. It's not just your face.
Well, I haven't really had like bad acne since high school, so I have no idea.
So acne. Good for you. Yeah, good for you. But acne.
Oh, unlucky.
Acne is it? Well, it depends on what kind of acne you have, right? Like blackheads and like oil, but essentially the idea, if we had to boil, and we're not dermatologists, we're not skincare experts, we're just but the idea is that dead skin cells build up, like conjugate in like an area, and then causes the acne or the irritation in the pores, and that causes inflammation. And so if you exfoliate, you get rid of the possibility of that dirt and dead skin cells from building up in the first place. The rest is hormonal, and also like diet, and you know how you take care of your skin, whether it's like cleaning it and moisturizing it, and like because you know when your skin is dry, it can also produce certain acnes or certain blemishes because it's seeking nutrients that it's not getting, so then it'll react in such a way to form either like dry skin, like I don't know, is it called like it kind of looks like a crater? Like I know, like before.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I know.
I can't say that that's due to dryness, but like for me, I used to be on my skin. If it was dry, I could feel like little patches of like dryness on my skin, and then I could tell like, oh, I need to moisturize. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Me, I just touch my face and I'm like, damn, that shit is dry. Better moisturize. You know.
But on the topic of like exfoliating, there's like many parts you can exfoliate, like also your scalp. You know, if you have dandruff, that's a sign of like not exfoliating your scalp enough. That's why you have all that oil on your hair, like dried up skin on your hair. I mean, that's on your scalp. That's what dandruff is. And you know, it might not have like direct benefits. Like I'm not experiencing mini strokes from exfoliation on my scalp, right? But it could also be like for me, like a cause for like low self-esteem. You know, if I'm like walking around and I see like snow, quote unquote snow, on my shoulders, if I'm wearing like a dark colored shirt and you see snow, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, brother, ugh, what's that?
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know about you guys in terms of like, you know, grooming per se. Does it help boost some like confidence? Like, you know, whether your teeth is yellow or, you know, you want to be able to smile confidently, right?
Definitely, it definitely boosts confidence. I 100% use like a whitening face. I definitely shave my face, you know, moisturize my face, wash my face, moisturize my face. God, it makes me feel so much better. Lip balm.
Lip balm. You don't want chapped lips. You don't want bleeding lips, right?
No, definitely not. I need these smackable lips, bro.
Yeah.
That's I'm seeing Leafy Green's comment right now. Yeah, I was about to say something. I saw that is a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it affect like self-esteem? You know, feeling more confident with yourself when you're in public because you don't have bad breath.
Yeah.
Or
it could probably like
stinky.
It could probably go both ways, right? Like with like makeup and like dressing nice. Like maybe you put makeup on, dress nice, it's gonna make you feel good. Or maybe some people that put makeup on and dress nice, and they'll think, "Oh, people only like me because I've got all this makeup on and I'm dressing nice." But if it's just me, they don't like me. You know.
Balance.
It could really go both ways. Yeah.
Balance. Yeah.
So what you're saying is more like it's important to do it for yourself and not so much for others. It's
100%.
You know, whether that's exercise and then like setting all these goals and eating a healthy diet or grooming, right? It's about eventually seeing yourself in that mirror, standing in front of that mirror and being able to like, yeah, I feel good. And being able to go out and say, like, yeah, I'm confident, I'm self-assured, I'm ready to take on the world. That's something like that. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. These are really good points. Yeah, these are really good points that are being made. And so, you know, kind of with starting, so I guess for anyone who's like trying to start out and feeling a little overwhelmed, right? Start with kind of setting a goal for yourself. So like, what is it that you want to do? Like, do you want to be able to use like beauty care products for men or for women, right? Men and women. This is a co-ed space, if that's not already quite apparent and clear. You know, start off writing these things down. You can write down, well, you know, I have acne, it bothers me, and I think this is time. I think this is the call to really address my acne. Write that down. My goal is to clear up my acne. Give yourself some time. Maybe speak to a professional if that's something you want to do, or do the research that is necessary to kind of help you on to your next step, which is how to care for yourself, right? And this goes back into like the self-care portion. If it's like going to the gym, right? Identify one, I have this need, I have this want, I have a desire to go to the gym. Identify that. And then what are the steps that I would need? And if money is a problem, like was mentioned in the chat, then what are some alternatives that I, problem solving here?
Yeah,
What are some alternatives to
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Resources on YouTube.
I'm about to you're asking us what are some like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You can always just do body weight workouts. I did a lot of body weight workouts, like calisthenics and things like that. Just as good, much more difficult, but it does work. It does work instead of going to the gym, and
I think
you probably have to be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say probably you're gonna have to be more accountable for yourself, because I know a lot of people don't want to body weight. They'd much rather like go to the gym.
But you mentioned earlier about like having that support network, right? You know what is a reliable support network? The Poette fan court. If you guys if you ever feel like, I don't want to be going on through this journey on my own, I don't even know where to begin, what are some cheap alternatives, all of these like reasons of why, or like factors that affect our progress in our self-care journey, right? Yeah, post it in the Poette fan court. I think
W plug
each other.
W plug.
Hey man.
Any other plugs?
What no,
Any upcoming streams you want to talk about?
no, I'm good.
Put her on the spot now. She's nervous.
Just doing my part here.
Yeah, so currently in the garden, what we do is I'm trying to keep a few folks accountable for journaling. So that's what we're working on.
See, you hear that?
Yeah.
Wait, we are? Wait, since what?
We are. Support network. Welcome, brother.
Oh, hi. I'm new here. My name's Tofu. Here we're doing some journaling. What is this about?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, so the people you surround yourself with is really important, right? Accountability, but ultimately at the end of the day, you are doing this, you have to, like I was like when I was interviewing with Bike Beast, there was a really good question about like motivation, and at the core of everything, you have to want it for yourself first. You
Do
can
it for yourself.
Yeah, you can say like, oh, I'm doing this for my friends, and if that like motivates you, great, but like at the core of it, self-care is about your well-being. That's like really important.
It's personal.
Yeah, I feel like there's no real point in doing something if it's not gonna make you yourself happy and enjoy it,
Yeah. Good points. Yeah. But yeah, so like hygiene, grooming, I want to ask kind of the question to chat as well, but when you think of grooming and hygiene, what actually comes to mind, and what are some grooming things, activities that you already do for yourself? I mean, of course you guys are showering, of course you guys are washing your hands and all of that like basic stuff, but if we were to like take it to the next level, what are some things that you feel like you go that extra mile? Maybe it's shaving is one of them. Maybe you take care and manage your beard, right? Some people like they like their beard, and I've seen it in the grooming aisle, right? Like it's like together men's on one side and women's, and I take a peek at the men's section sometimes, and I saw like beard conditioner. It's like a tiny
like
little...
trimming, beard conditioner, beard oil, beard oil. Yeah, so that's and there's combs as well for beards.
Yep. Yeah, so that's what I mean by the extra mile. Do you guys, anyone out there, or tuna and tofu? What if you had to say like, oh, besides like the basic showering and scrubbing and soap and facial wash, what are some other ways that you pamper yourself and
definitely getting massages. Holy damn.
Hey.
Mm.
Massage and facials, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, massage. I've gotten a facial once. Okay,
How was it?
it was a one time. My face felt very hot after for like a good hour and a half after,
Oh.
and I don't know why.
It felt hot.
My face felt like hot. I don't know. It must have been like the ointment that they put on that was making it. Might have like eucalyptus plus some other thing in it.
Was it burning? It wasn't burning.
No, no, it was just like warm.
Warm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she didn't put acid on my face. Thank God.
Oh, thank
There are
goodness.
some, yeah, there are some like chemical peels that will like induce that burning, but then that's why you have to like really go to a certified like esthetician and things like that.
Mhm.
But for me, like it was like actually the biggest investment for me
Mhm.
that, and that was like a long-term project as well. Was like I've always been really self-conscious about my smile
Mm.
because my teeth is
Mhm.
like yellow from all the caffeine that I
Mm.
drank,
Oh, real.
all the citrusy fruits, right?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I finally kind of like looked into like whitening and then like the different options available, like Philips, like whitening. You really just gotta like do the research. And then sometimes, and I like went through a lot of anxiety. So like, oh my gosh, am I really gonna spend like this amount of money, like hundreds, thousands? What if it doesn't work? What if it just comes back after a few months? It's all a waste of time. My gut,
Oh my
you
gosh.
know, I
You
like.
sound like her.
What do
The
you
panicking,
mean?
the panicking, the self-doubt.
Well, because I want to, I don't know, maybe because I'm like an Asian fish, you know, from the Asian waters.
What is an Asian fish?
From the Asian waters. Did you hear her?
Yeah.
Fish is fish.
Well, okay, so
Fish is fish.
no. So she brought up a really good point. She did bring up a really good point. The cultural expectation of how a person should look, beauty standards, for better
Yes.
or for worse. I think
Yeah.
it's really important to identify some of the harms that certain standards can have, and at the end of the day, the beauty standards are there as like a template, but ultimately, and we can strive for excellence within ourselves, but just to keep in mind that it's not our sole purpose in life to fit into a box or a definition or a standard of beauty.
And that's what I was struggling with for a while because I was like, well, whitening doesn't actually, actually help with my teeth health. If anything, it's bad for the enamel. And so I was just like, there has to be another way. And so I looked at all the different procedures for teeth whitening, right? Whether it's like a whitening toothpaste and just kind of sticking with that. And then, reducing my citrusy and caffeine diet, in my diet. And then just kind of like, there's that as well. And then there's also like braces because I grew up like wearing braces, but then now my teeth is also slightly misaligned, and I'm just like, am I like overthinking it too much? Like my teeth is not symmetrical, and then that's where like again, that's why it was like a big project for many
Yo,
across
did they
many
give you?
years before I even actually took action because I like really reflected like, is this really gonna give me health benefits or is it really just for like
Aesthetics.
to fill in some insecurity?
Right.
Well, I feel like
I don't know.
braces is definitely health benefits because if your teeth are like really badly
Yes.
misaligned, it's
Get stuck there.
difficult to clean.
Cavity. Yeah, and then they can cause cavities. So there is benefits, health benefits to braces. But whitening, I'm not so sure because that hurts your enamel. Yeah. It's like,
And if you look at the reality of it with teeth, taking care of your teeth, really it's just flossing and brushing and getting the plaque and the food that you eat like unlodged from your teeth, right? And
so go to the dentist, guys.
what is it? The enamel in your teeth is slightly like a yellowish hue, and I think it's coming to terms and like finding balance between, okay, there's this extreme like need for like self-care, but then there's also this obsession with chasing a beauty standard, and I think there is a difference. There is like a threshold, there is a line that gets crossed when you go from like, oh, I'm doing this to take care of my body, to preserve my teeth, to take care of my hair and nails, and make sure my gums are healthy, versus I just need to have white teeth because that's the standard.
Because in the media, when you
yes.
smile, you need to have pearly white teeth.
Yeah.
That's not realistic.
It's
That's
not
not real.
realistic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually really do appreciate when I go to like all these dental consultations. There's a lot. Trust me, I went to a lot. But I felt really reassured when a lot of dentists told me like, no, this is the natural color of your teeth. It's slightly yellow. That like hashtag or like 000 was no F hex code white. That's not real. That's media. And I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, your teeth is fine. Your teeth is healthy. Your teeth is normal. You're fine. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I think part of this discussion, I really love that you brought up this discussion, this topic of like media being a contributing factor to our perception as a whole, because just to segue really quickly, based off of some of the research that I did for today's topic, right? Some of the foods that we eat, right? Like there's this big like media push for organic, non-GMO, but like, have you guys considered that the yellow bananas that are sweet and ripe and delicious and whatnot, though that's not a naturally occurring fruit. It's actually been genetically modified to be that way, right? Bananas out in nature, they can vary from the color brown to the color yellowish orange, reddish even, and greenish blue, right? So that's just something to kind of consider and think about, like what media is portraying and then what's the actual truth.
Yeah, a lot of produce has been like grafted together so that we have different, even like tomatoes. I'm pretty sure tomatoes are in the same position, right? They're not like actual tomatoes. They're like some amalgamation of like tomatoes and like other things.
Yeah, and strawberries. A lot of the quote unquote berries as well. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Informing yourself also a form of self-care, because you do want to pay attention to what you put in your in your body.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about fish, but I definitely look at the backs of boxes whenever I go grocery shopping.
Yeah, reading those
Do you guys
nutritional labels.
Do you guys have grocery stores in the bottom of the ocean, or?
We eat them raw. We eat them live.
Or is it just like algae and stuff like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. GMO. Processed foods.
A lot of processed foods are bad for you, but I feel like putting the label of like processed foods is kind of like giving some foods like a bad rap. Like salami, technically it is processed, but also not really. It's just putting spices in meat. Yeah, it's putting spices in meat and cured. That's the process of it.
I see.
At the end of the day, everything in moderation, right?
Yes.
There's exercising and not overly exercising and pulling a muscle, not letting your muscle rest or feeding it the nutrients it needs to heal itself.
Yeah.
Or even with grooming and hygiene, it's like, okay, are you really doing this for the health benefits, or is it a form of self-expression, or are you just trying to fill, like in my case, a hole of like insecurity, and then setting goals. Ultimately, what is it that you want to improve about yourself so that you can feel better, look good, feel good, and be more confident? Yeah.
You know what's really interesting? What I was hearing from Tuna was this idea of some of the non-tangibles, right? So we've been talking a lot about like tangible things, food, exercise, the physical, but something like insecurity, which is kind of getting into like the non-tangible aspects of self-care, right? So like how can we integrate some of these non-tangibles? And by that I mean like compassion, grace, right? How our relationship with ourselves, how we talk to ourselves even, right? The humor that we use to express ourselves or to make other people feel more relaxed or have fun. So yeah, I think this is kind of interesting. Like
positive affirmations and positive talk really does play an effect in like we talked about so far in setting goals, right? You want to engage in a lot of positive talk as well, but not toxic positivity, but you know,
like realistic.
especially
like
when
Per
both of
mentioned,
us end up.
Like Per mentioned earlier, the thing with like model learning or modeling,
Model learning.
you can always, you know, see how other people are treating, you know, others. Like maybe you're diagnosed like sociopath or something like that, and you're not sure how to feel about things that are happening to other people. Like you don't have that empathy or something like that. You can always look to other people and see what they're doing with those other people. It can really help you out. I know a lot of sociopaths are like, not a lot. I know two, but they're like the kindest ever met. They really go out to really try to make a difference, with how they act towards people. Like they can't empathize with what they're feeling, but they have facts and they can try and help in like whatever way they can, you know? Like, oh, I'm struggling with looking for a place to live because all these rental properties are like really high. Oh, you can, you know, stay at my place for like a couple of weeks until you find a new place, you know? Things like that.
Charitable, helping the community,
Mm.
prioritizing others' needs over your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are like personal values and beliefs that the intangibles of self-care, part of like character development, and then the kind of person you want to be. So on top of like shaping your physical shell, your physical body, right? You can also look into like the internal. How do you want to shape your internal person? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Setting a goal.
As opposed to your scaly self.
Okay.
we don't discriminate here. We don't discriminate.
I'm discriminating. You're discriminating against me for those nuggets. Okay, I'm coming back with a vengeance.
Hey man, eat all your nuggets you want, man.
Yeah, no one's judging you.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Yeah, you're lying to my face right now.
I think you're projecting your frustration onto poor tuna.
Yeah, I failed my quest. I failed on my quest of eating 40 nuggets, and I was so close.
Yeah.
Love yourself now. Yes. You hear that?
Okay.
You see that? Judged.
I will love myself for only eating 38 nuggets instead of 4.
2 nuggets short. That's the metric he's using to measure how much he loves himself. Nuggets.
Yeah,
that is
can we
a
get
unit.
a tuna meter?
No. How did we get to this?
Like, you know how in Stardew Valley, you go when you're playing like the fishing mini game, and it's got like the fish on the bar. Yeah, that's my mental image of the tuna meter.
Oh gosh.
That works.
But on the topic of physical self-care, do we have any?
Okay, wait. I did not
notes?
waste food, okay? I ate those 2 nuggets this morning, thank you very much. My mother raised me right.
Mother tofu.
Ooh. That is nice.
As you were saying.
Yeah.
In terms of the physical aspect of self-care, we covered we started off with diet and then exercise and then setting goals for in terms of like our physical, like are you worried about like I don't have enough stamina, I'm walking up 3 flights of stairs and I'm already gasping air, concerning, maybe that's a goal you want to have. And we went over how to set a goal and what are some of the factors that can affect like our difficulty in setting up a goal. Like what's a good goal for me? Am I doing this right? And then there's like the financial limitations, the societal and cultural norms or stigma that we have to get through. with anything that we try, there's always gonna be struggles, right?
Mhm.
And that's why the support network is important, but also doing it ultimately for yourself. The
Mhm.
self-care is very personal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we went into hygiene and grooming, and making sure that, you know, whether that's like teeth whitening or braces, like you have to be careful. Is it really for your health? Is there any health benefits, or is it like just a form of self-expression? Whether you dye your hair,
Mhm.
I mean, technically you're hurting your hair when you dye your hair to bleaching, you know.
Yeah.
But it is a form of self-expression, and if it does make you feel more confident, if it does help your self-esteem, then then there's something to think about.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then there's like some grooming and hygiene where it's like there's actually no health benefits, and then it's just like, well, why are you doing it? That is it to fill a certain insecurity because of like media portrayal.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we went over that as well.
Yeah. Very good points from all of us. I feel.
Yeah, yeah. Does chat have any questions for us, or any other thoughts on self-care? You know, we did cover quite a bit, and this is kind of a safe space to talk about and begin to reflect on what self-care can look like, right?
For you.
For you.
And obviously, there's more aspects to self-care that we haven't mentioned, but you know,
The
we only have
intangibles.
The
a
intangibles.
limited amount of time, so
Yeah. So, but yeah, this was a really good conversation. It was, I think it's good to have these conversations and to feel like, you know, the struggles that you feel when dealing with your own self-image and your own care towards yourself is something that other people experience as well, and to kind of hear stories from each of us and our experience and our opinions can kind of help you maybe figure out what works for you or what would help you, like kind of like deciding, you know, what do I need, what are my needs, what you know, do I have a self-consciousness towards my skin care routine or my teeth care, my hygiene in general, and what we can do about that, you know, moving forward, which is, you know, setting goals and yeah.
Okay, but on that note, shall we say goodbye?
I suppose so.
You suppose so?
I
She really wants to
suppose.
stay, guys.
I really.
She doesn't want it to
She
end.
really
I
wants to
don't-
stay, and yeah.
She wants to start talking about the intangibles.
The
Yes.
intangibles.
She wants to start talking about literally anything else.
Well, I hope it was helpful. I hope some of the insight that we brought to the table was at least, you know, thoughtful enough to kind of get you thinking about your own self-care. And maybe, you know, if you come up with any questions, you can send them in the comment section below in this chat, and maybe we can attempt to answer them, or I'll do my best to answer some questions and concerns that you guys have. But yeah, I guess for now, it was pretty good. It was a good run. I'm really proud of the folks here. So thank you, Tuna, and thank you, Tofu, for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, please take an orange. Take the whole thing. Take the whole plate.
No, thank you. I'll leave these oranges here. There's way too many.
I'll hold your wing, Poette, and Tofu, I'll hold your corner.
My corner, my polygon.
Your corner, your polygon. And that's what I'll take with me. Let's go, guys!
Off into the sunset.
No, thank you guys for joining us and listening, and you know, we always love hearing your input on these things.
Yeah, hopefully this was insightful.
If you do join the Poette fan cord, please post the products that you guys use for self-care.
Oh.
Yeah.
A good idea, right?
As well.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. So we can see what people are using. And other people can see what they're using, and you know, get like, if they have no idea where to go.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, we'll have to create kind of like a self-care, like a section. Self-improvement. There we go. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, I'm excited. Thank you so much, guys, and yeah, I guess that's it. Have a wonderful
Yeah,
rest
that's
of
it.
your night, guys. Take care, be well, all that good stuff, and yeah.
All right. See you guys.
See you all. Blah blah.
Blah.